years, we have hired in 3 years. Ni kweli ama si kweli? Tunaelewana? On top of it, we have put money to have more classrooms. We have now built in the last 3 years 23,000 classrooms. And I want to thank members of parliament who are here, the chair of the committee and all the committee members. They have worked with me to make sure that we provide resources through CDF and through government resources to hire, to build more classrooms, because classrooms and teachers form the foundation of learning. Then we can input the rest of the things in between. Tumekubaliana ndugu zangu walimu. On top of that, it was necessary for us to look at funding. And I am happy that we are going to be discussing later. I have seen in some of the asks you are going to ask me how we can enhance funding. But we had to start from somewhere. We had serious problems with our universities. Most of our universities, actually 23 of our universities, had been declared insolvent. Egerton University, Nairobi University, Kenyatta University. Most of our universities, Moi University was almost dead. Most of our universities were paying salaries, half salary. They were not remitting pay as you earn, NSSF and all those. We had a big crisis. And let me tell you, good people, the reason why I had to take a very informed stand on matters education is that if you want to destroy a nation, go to education and do the wrong things. Because for so long, our universities were struggling. And it was not right, because what was happening is that we were sending so many kids to university. We're not providing the resources. They had to begin to cut corners. And ultimately, we were going to have half-baked graduates. And that is the reason why we had to have the difficult conversation on funding in our education, especially our higher education. I can now confidently stand before you today that our higher education, ask any vice chancellor, the new student-centered model has increased resources available for teaching at the university. In 2022, the maximum was 45 billion. If you go to this year's budget, it is 82 billion shillings, from 45 billion to 82 billion shillings this year. Universities can now pay salaries in full. They can pay their tax obligations. They can pay their suppliers. And slowly, we are bringing to the rails our university education. Our TVETs, the numbers in 2022, we had 340 students in Tibet. Now we have 720, and I have agreed with the ministry that we want to have 2 million by 2027 in our TVETs. And by the way, it is intentional. And I will tell you why. I'm going to tell you why. Number 5, we have been thinking of an open university of Kenya for many years. Many countries have done it. I tried to do it when I was Minister for Education. I was moved, or was it fired before I could finish it. So, but I had promised that when I get an opportunity, this is one thing I wanted to do. Today, I can confidently tell you, we have the Open University of Kenya at Konza City. We now have 10,000 students in the Open University of Kenya. 500,000 students at the Open University of Kenya. In fact, it will be the largest university by end of this. That is what Catholic education. We must provide all pathways for us to open opportunities for citizens to learn. And I'm going to tell you shortly why education is important. If we have to move Kenya to the next level, education is at the center. Number 3, number 4. We have to sort out health. You know for a very long time that many people sold their houses, their property, their livestock, their plots, around this, etc., for matters health. Some decided to stay at home and die because they don't know how they will pay if they go to hospital. Many Kenyans died of illnesses that could be treated, but because there was no mechanism. And that is why we undertook to say, let us have a paradigm shift in the delivery of health in Kenya. And this is not a conversation that started last year. Universal health coverage was in the NAC manifesto. Professor Anyang' Nyong'o was Minister for Health. He tried, he did not succeed. Universal health coverage was in the Grand Coalition. Charity Ngilu tried, we did not succeed. Universal health coverage was in the Jubilee Manifesto. It was among the big 4. Our minister then, Cecily Kariuki, we tried, we did not succeed. Strangely, in the last election, universal health coverage was in the Kenya Kwanza Manifesto, and it was also in the Azimio Manifesto. Unanielewa? So it is something we agree, all of us, that it is something to be done. But nani atafanya ndio kizungumkuti. So that's why this time round, I said, whatever it takes. Niitwe Zakayo, niitwe nani, ni sawa, lakini this thing, we must do it. Mwananielewa, my friends. You know, I can never have a better meeting than this. This is a meeting of intellectuals. Sindio? And that is why I must take time to explain to you, because you understand what I'm saying. So what did we do? We changed the structure of delivery of health, because why we failed in NAC, why we failed in Grand Coalition, why we did not succeed in Jubilee, is because we didn't have a sound legal foundation. Because universal health is not a roll of the mill, it's not a simple thing. It is probably the biggest project a government can undertake, because it involves every citizen. Health is not a sectional issue. Health is a national issue. So we changed the law. From one law of NHIF, we now have 5 pieces of legislation. We have passed 4. There is one now in the works in Parliament. We changed the funding structure. We've changed the delivery structure. And now I can confidently tell you, for the last 1 year, which we have implemented universal health coverage under SHA. It's been difficult, but you are beginning to see the results. SHA is beginning, there was initially, it's not working. And then it came to, it is working, but. So we are moving. Yeah? We are going to remove the buts. And I want to promise you, we are determined. SHA, universal health coverage, must work. Because the Constitution of Kenya, Section 43, says Health is a constitutional right of every citizen. It is not a privilege for those who have money or those who can afford. Unaelewana marafiki zangu? So, we're implementing universal health coverage. NHIF had 7 million contributors. SHA now we are at 27 million Kenyans registered. It was a preserve for a few. We are now agreed that number one, we are changing even the financing structure. The old NHIF, the low cadre of people, you know, wale watu wa chini huko, the lowest was 500 shillings. 500 shillings is for the people whose income is between 3,000 and 5,000 a month. Assuming even it is 5,000. If you tell somebody who is earning 5,000 a month to pay 500, what percentage is that? 10%, right? 500 is 10% of 5,000, isn't it? So the poor people, the people at the bottom of the pyramid, we are telling them, pay 10% of your income. And then mimi napata 1.2 million. Hawa wadosi wameketi hapa wanapata 1,100,000, 700,000, 800,000. Sisi ambao ni wadosi hapa, sitaki kusema yenu. Sindio? Sisi tulikuwa tunalipa 1,700. If you do a percentage of 1.2 million, 1,700, it is 0.01%. Sasa, good people, you are intellectuals. The poor are paying 10%. The rich are paying 0.00. Is there any fairness? Is there any logic? Tunaelewana? So what did we decide? We said, let's have equity. Let us be fair. Let us have a standard figure. Let everybody pay 2.75%. Mama mboga na wale wengine wateremuke from 10% wakuje 2.75%. Na sisi tutoke huko 0.0 sijui ngapi tukuje 2.75%. Tunaelewana? Now from 1,700 I used to pay, now I pay 40,000 every month. Mama mboga yake imeteremuka from 500